Bear these tidings to great Lucifer. Say Faustus doth surrender up his soul, so he will spare him 24 years, to give me whatsoever I shall ask, to tell me whatsoever I demand, to slay mine enemies, and aid my friends, and always be obedient to my will.
Trick or Treat, directed by Charles Martin Smith, and starring Mark Price and Tony Fields as a satanic shock rocker, Sammy Kerr. Now, if you love this movie, stick around to the end of the review, because I love it too. But while doing a written review of this movie, I noticed a couple of things I never realized when I was younger, a few glaring flaws. So, boys and girls, without further ado, our tale begins with Eddie Ragman Weinbauer, your typical 80s us against them teen, and his musical idol, Sammy Kerr, the only person who really gets him. Eddie dreams of the day that metal's detractors are brought down by Sammy's music. I used to feel exactly the same about Weird Al Yankovic. But his dreams are crushed whenever he learns of his hero's untimely death in a tragic hotel fire.
Again, rock star Sammy Kerr, victim of a hotel fire, dead at age 38.
He doesn't take the news very well. Yeah, can't tear down our promotional material. That would fuck up the rest of the film. Knowing of his deep devotion to Kerr's music, Eddie's friend at the local radio station, Nuke, played by the death of rock and roll himself, Gene Simmons, gives him the sole physical copy of Sammy's final album.
Hi. You're Eddie, right?
Okay.
At least he's not as awkward with the ladies as I was at that age. And I know I didn't bring up Eddie's metal mullet yet, but if I didn't have the same haircut. Personalized license plates with your name on them? That's a little conceited, isn't it? Moving right along. Of course, Eddie is teased and bullied like all metalheads are. Except, of course, among Amarth fans. But Eddie soon learns that when he plays the record backwards, trust me, all the metalheads were doing back then, I f***ed up so many Judas Priest albums, that the record gave him messages, effective instructions on getting back at his enemies.
Let the big fish hook themselves. You're the bait is you.
Or some cryptic, but he figures it out anyways.
All right, okay, explain this. I do exactly what the message says, right? And I nail those. For the first time...
Did exactly what the message said. Did I miss something? After receiving more messages, including hearing his own name,
Ragnar.
Eddie quickly realizes that the record is actually communicating with him. Helping him get back at all the people who have wronged him.
Shut it off! Turn it off like that!
Maybe that bully has a fear of sparks. Eddie then transfers the record to cassette. '80s technology, kids. '80s technology. So now he can take the mayhem with him. Now Eddie's becoming stronger and more self-confident.
Gotta go. Ciao.
And apparently homosexual.
I don't even think it's a sense of humour. I think they're just out and out sick people. I mean, and they're trying to make everyone else around them who listens to their music as sick as they are.
Now we get a cameo appearance from everyone's favorite sitcom dad, Ozzy Osbourne. And that's what it is. A cameo. He doesn't even directly interact with the characters in the film. He just appears on the screen a couple of times as a rock and roll hating evangelist, and that's it. The same with Gene Simmons. At least he has an exchange with the main character, but the same thing.
Both of them have very little screen time. This wouldn't be so bad. For the newer versions of the DVD,
both of these performers are featured prominently on the cover. Right there. Right there. Like the main guys. Is Sammy Kerr on the cover? No. Maybe.
a little bit before, I don't even remember, maybe not. But no, Eddie, right, man? The star of the fucking movie, technically? Is he on there? No. Gene Simmons, Ozzy Osbourne, cameo characters, cameo roles. The main guys on the cover of the DVD. That's right.
Way to milk some celebrity appeal there, people. Bye. Okay. I'm over it. Next. Well, after that little rant, maybe I better lighten the mood with a joke. So, a metalhead and a redneck were both on death row. Comes time for their final wish. Ward asks them what would they like more than anything else. The redneck says, I would like more than anything else for you to play me Billy Ray Cyrus's Achy Breaky Heart. Metalhead says, I would like more than anything else for you to execute me first. After a girl is almost killed after unwittingly listening to the tape, Eddie starts having second thoughts. Who knew that the unholy spirit of a satanic shock rocker channeling the powers of hell would be dangerous? Well, that'll be in my nightmares tonight. That's nothing. I can do the same trick with a microwave and a car battery. Well, that didn't go as planned.
Eddie! What have you done to your stereo?
I wanted the new one.
I wanted the new one.
They say kids these days are overprivileged. After that little outburst, Eddie gets himself grounded. So he asks his best friend Roger to find the tape and destroy it. Of course, not believing a word that Eddie has said to him about the tape, Roger decides not to destroy it and instead listen to it himself. He probably believes him now. And Sammy Kerr commands Roger to play the tape that night at the high school Halloween dance. On his way to the dance to stop it, Eddie's car is taken over by Sammy Kerr. Wait a minute. Did that barrel just explode? Why the fuck would it explode like that? Did this just turn into a first-person shooter? What happens next is, well... Have you ever seen the end of Stephen King's Scary? Picture that, except instead of pig's blood, it's a baptism of metal music. Except instead of a simple sheltered teen girl, it's an electricity-wielding, half-burned metal maniac who can pick up or control anything that can pick up radio waves. A lot of high school kids die. And what can I say about this movie I haven't already said? The film epitomizes everything wrong with the public's assumptions about heavy metal music and the headbanger community. I always thought it was the nerds and geeks that got picked on the most. Most metalheads I know were able to scrap and weren't afraid to do so. And all the metalheads didn't celebrate evil and darkness, only the good ones. And to call Gene Simmons and Ozzy Osbourne stars of this film in any respect is ridiculous. This movie is pure 80s horror metal. Yes, that's the genre. Silliness and cheese. And here's the rub. I love this flick. I see a lot of my young self in Eddie. That feeling no one understands the mind of a headbanger besides the artist behind the music. That intense feeling that you get whenever a song touches you in a personal way. I get it. And the music on this movie represents it perfectly. Fastway was a terrific choice for the soundtrack. Hard, loud, powerful songs. I think the music really made this movie, and the soundtrack alone is worth picking up. If you like 80s horror and metal music, I would highly recommend Trick or Treat. And now a scene for my next review. And check out my Clown Pals channel, All Clowns Go to Heaven. Link is down there in the description somewhere. And keep an eye out for my and friends videos coming soon to this very channel. Be sure to subscribe to this channel